asks, thoughts on Tarantino heavily criticizing Paul Dano along with Owen Wilson and Matthew Lillard as actors. To what degree do you find Tarantino's sharing of opinions to be uncalled for? So Quentin Tarantino has been making headlines for a couple weeks now, or a week or so, for trashing several actors. And I think part of what makes it so bad is that he was on a podcast. He was on Bret Easton Ellis's podcast. This is the writer of American Psycho. And I believe he's been on there before. It's not the first time that they've talked. So he's on his podcast, and the discussion is Tarantino's 20 favorite movies of the 21st century. Almost the opposite of the I just did the article we just reacted to on the 20 most disappointing movies, or 10 most disappointing movies of the 21st century. But so he's supposed to be talking about things he loves. And somewhere in this discussion, he just starts kind of going after people. It kind of veers in this other direction towards negativity. And the biggest one was Paul Dano. That's the one that really kind of went viral, but he also went after Owen Wilson and Matthew Lillard. Matthew Lillard has already commented like, "Oh man, it sucks. You know, you put out your work, you're proud of it. You know, my fans love my work. My fans are so kind to me, but you know, maybe some people in Hollywood don't like me." It's like Matthew Lillard feels like such a sweet, sincere guy and kind of sensitive perhaps to some of this stuff, and very grateful for his fans. And then, you know, I think that got a lot to say, but like Tarantino is one of the most discussed writer-directors of the last 35 years. Like heavily praised, a lot of nominations for awards. And so when you're highly celebrated, your words have a lot of weight. They have a lot of power to them. And he used his words to kind of go after 3 different people that are not as high up as him. Like, I don't know who if he was like going after ScarJo, highest grossing actress of all time, big, gigantic movie star. And so highly celebrated director takes punches, you know, takes shots at highly successful actress. It's not in the best taste, but at least it feels like kind of equals or whatever. But it's not really what happened. Like Paul Dano's had success, of course, and Owen Wilson in particular about 20 years ago had a lot of success, but not as much the last 15 years. And Matthew Lillard has kind of been a character actor for 30 years. And a lot of these getting roles where he can here and there. And he's the voice of Shaggy. And, he played Shaggy in live action too. And so he's had a successful career in many regards. But like in terms of like clout in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino is just punching down. And in like when you're punching down at someone that like feels like just like, you know, Matthew Lillard seems like a sweet, really nice guy that just wants to make people happy. And a lot of his work is, you know, doing Scooby-Doo. That's like one of his most famous things. And you're punching down at him. It's like, hey, what are we doing here? What's kind of going on here? Like, why are we doing this? And so it's just not in the, like, it feels weird to do that. Quentin Tarantino's always been kind of known for his strong opinions.
Why the need for so much gruesome, graphic violence? Why not let us imagine
because it's so much fun, Chan. Really? Get it?
And I listened, he has his own podcast in, like on YouTube, I watch the little clips. Like whenever I'm prepping rankings and stuff, I'll look up Quentin Tarantino, Alien 3, Quentin Tarantino, whatever. And I don't agree with most of his opinions, but he has such a rich love for film and knowledge of film that his perspectives are always interesting. And he articulates them in a way that makes you go, huh. And it makes you think. So they're useful just to kind of give you a more holistic way of thinking about a movie. And as much as like he can say provocative things, he's not normally just kind of like taking shots at people. It's just kind of felt out of nowhere of like unusually kind of mean-spirited Quentin.
And I'm shutting your butt down.
Now, and some of this is the headlines. And so, like, he does a podcast and he just starts going off on something and it turns into a headline as if he just, like, without context, it plays a little bit different. So, like, someone's chiming in if I remember right, Tarantino was talking about There Will Be Blood and got saying Paul Dano was one of the things in the movie that he didn't like. And so, like, there's a context that, like, he's talking about this, praising a thing that, like, is a positive, and he goes, but here's the thing that didn't work. And he just kind of this rant. And they're, like, the way that he said it makes for really good, very retweetable, very shareable pull quotes trashing an actor. What makes for really good content on the internet? Big name person has beef with other person you recognize. And so just nonstop headlines. And that's why you have to think about the power of your words and the sway that they have, in particular in specific circles. Like, if I put out a video next week of me taking shots at other YouTubers or whatever that are smaller channels than mine or like something like that, a lot of people would be like, what on earth did you see that Chandler said? Like, what? And it would get buzz because people love drama. They love controversy. It gets clicks. It's provocative inherently. But even like if I have negative opinions on smaller YouTubers, I keep them to myself. Because it would be inappropriate, it would be rude. It's just like a bad use of sway. And there's a way to articulate a criticism of a performance in a movie that's not just taking shots at an actor in general. So, and you know, this is like some of the quotes. Like, he also said Dano is one of the worst SAG actors, which is, it's no longer I have an issue with this one performance in this one movie. It's this guy over here that has less clout than me is the worst. Like, there's a way of saying, like, I've never been super into Paul Dano. He's been, more power to him. He's been successful. He's been in comic book movie, prestige movies. I just never got it. Worst actor in SAG is, a mighty, mighty flavorful way of phrasing it. You know, I would say that this is going, too far.
Most of these clips are pulled from my Patreon live streams. I do about 6 live streams every single month. For $2 per month, $20 per year, you can get access to all the exclusive videos and live streams. For $5 per month, you get your name on my end card. At the top tier, you get a 30-minute video chat with me each month. The link down below in the description has more information.